Around homeowners, we're going to go to Representative Esposito for PSC, for CS for HB 1203. There are 9 amendments, and I understand that amendment number 9 from Representative Daniels has been withdrawn. Thank you very much. And you are recognized. Oh, there you are. You are recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Members, this bill provides educational requirements for community association managers, provides criminal penalties if an HOA officer, director, or manager accepts a kickback, clarifies standards for HOA board of directors, prohibits certain fines from becoming liens, allows homeowners to appeal a decision of the HOA or the ARC, limits HOAs from issuing unreasonable fines, and requires a majority vote of members to increase assessments more than 10% year over year, excluding insurance premiums. That is the bill.
Thank you. Could you, I know we have so many amendments before we get into the bill, let's get them all in order. Can you do amendment number 1, which is PCS A1?
Thank you, Chair. Okay, so amendment 1 provides that an association with 100 parcels or more is required to post a current digital copy of their official records on respective websites. And it creates criminal offenses connecting with tampering with official records. It also removes the requirement that associations with 2,500 members or more use an independent CPA and retain an attorney.
Members, questions on amendment number 1? Questions on amendment number 1? No questions. Do we have public testimony on amendment number 1? Members, we're in debate on number 1. No? No debate. We'll show amendment number 1 adopted without objection. Let's go to amendment number 2, PCS A2. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Amendment 2 clarifies 2,500 members to 2,500 parcels, and it makes it an automatic third-degree felony instead of tying the degree of the criminal offense to a monetary value of an offense. And it specifies, that where a director or officer is charged by information or indictment with a specific criminal offense, they must be removed from office as provided in current law, and the vacancy must be declared.
Great. Members, questions? No questions. Any public testimony? None on that. Debate? Seeing no debate, we're going to show amendment number 2 adopted without objection. We're on amendment number 3, PCS A3 by Representative Esposito.
Thank you, Chair. Amendment 3 allows HOA members to consent electronically to online voting.
Questions? No questions. Debate? Public testimony? None. Debate? None. We'll show amendment number 3 adopted without objection. Amendment number 4, PCS A4.
Thank you, Chair. Amendment 4 clarifies that the association may provide designated watering timeframes, for parcel owners.
Okay. Questions on watering timeframes? No questions on watering timeframes. Any public testimony? None. Debate on watering timeframes? None. We're going to show amendment number 4 adopted without objection. Amendment number 5, PCS for A5 by Esposito.
Thank you, Chair. Amendment 5 prohibits assessments in the amount of less than 1% of the parcel's property value at the time of the assessment from becoming a lien against the parcel on the basis that the claim of lien against a parcel without the approval of a majority of voting members. The difference between what's in the original version is the change from instead of 75% vote, it's to a majority vote of the members.
Great. Thank you. Members, any questions there? No questions? Any public testimony there? We don't have any public testimony. We're in debate. Seeing no debate, we're going to show amendment number 5 adopted without objection. Amendment number 6, PCS for A6 by Esposito.
Amendment 6 specifies that a homeowner can only request a detailed accounting of the amounts owed to the association related to the property.
Okay. Members, questions? No. Public testimony? No. Debate? No. Amendment number 6 adopted without objection. Amendment number 7, PCS A7 by Esposito.
Thank you, Chair. This Amendment 7 changes the percentage for a year-over-year increase in assessments from 75% vote to a 60% vote.
Questions? Public testimony? No? No debate, really? Okay, we're going to show that adopted without objection also. Okay, we're going to go to amendment number 8, PCS A8 by our good friend Rep. Daniels. You're recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Amendment number 8 provides that interest accrued on unpaid assessments may only be simple interest and not compound interest.
Members, questions? Any questions? No questions, huh? Wow. Okay, any public testimony? None. we're in debate. Would you like to debate?
Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Members, this is a very friendly member and a friendly amendment.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really nice to see that. Friendly member, friendly. That's, you know what? Since it's a friendly member, friendly amendment, we're no other debate. We're going to show that amendment adopted without objection also. Congratulations. So, members, we are back on the bill with all those wonderful amendments. Do we have any questions now? Any questions? Representative Benjamin, welcome.
Thank you.
You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just for some clarification, does this bill change how assessment liens are addressed?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. If it is less than 1% of the property value, the majority vote is required to issue a lien.
Additional questions? Representative Saroy, hi.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Representative. You mentioned in your opening that, or I believe it was one of the amendments, that a homeowner can appeal a decision of an architectural review committee. Who do they appeal it to?
Recognized.
It is a committee, thank you, Chair. It's a committee that is assigned that does not include HOA board members or architectural review committee members. It's a separate committee.
Representative Benjamin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I had a follow-up. As things are currently, is there a percentage vote necessary to create a lien for past due assessment?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. Currently, no.
Follow.
So what's the reasoning then for creating a requirement when the assessments are passed due? What's the need to create a requirement of a percentage of a vote to create the lien? Because the lien is needed for enforcement, right?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So yes, liening is a mechanism of enforcement. There's still a basic collection process that they can go through. The idea behind it is that if it's less than 1% of the property value, it's a minimal amount that shouldn't be liened against the property. They're still able to lien against the property without a vote if it is over 1% of the property value.
Thank you.
Representative Steele.
Thank you, Chair. In the past, these HOAs were allowed to violate state law by, let's say, a screen door on the front door and in the back to allow pass-through and wind. Does this change any of that?
You're recognized.
Thank you, Chair. So this doesn't change anything in building code, if that's what you're referencing. I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Oh.
Yes, it's not architectural. It's not. I mean, it's not building code. It's architectural on the front.
You're recognized if you know. If not, we can get that information.
I'm happy to talk with you after.
Great. Additional questions? Okay, public testimony. We have some public testimony. We have Dale Calhoun, Florida Natural Gas Association. Waving in support. Thank you, sir. Dale Calhoun, Florida Propane Gas Association. Waving in support again. Ken Morello, AARP. Waving in support. Thank you so much. And Mark Anderson, Chief Executive Office of Management Companies.
The lone distinction of opposing this bill today for the Love Your HOA legislation that many of you, I'm sure, are very, very happy to support today. But I do rise in opposition to the bill today, as we have done in the previous two committees, because unlike maybe some of you, Florida is the #1 state in the country for people who call a community association their home. And they do so because they like living in these places. Believe it or not, they really do. And they come to these communities to enjoy a quality of life and a cost of living that they can afford. And I want to just address one aspect of that, because both of those are under threat with this bill, and it's the cost of living. Representative Benjamin touched on something that I think is very important. What this bill does is it enables people to just simply stop paying their assessments. Why is that a bad idea? It's a bad idea because we don't do that with mortgage companies. If you stop paying your mortgage and a lien is issued against your property, you don't have to get 51% or 75%, as the underlying bill initially had, for them to impose a lien and enforce compliance with paying your mortgage. Try doing that with building a house, doing a major renovation on your home. You don't pay the contractor They can issue a lien against your home. Why on earth would you require the construction company to issue, to achieve 51% of the neighborhood to approve of the imposition of what is owed to that company? Why is it about, if it's a bad idea to do it to mortgage and to construction companies, which we don't, why is it a good idea then to do it to associations? And here's the real consequence. The bad debt that cannot be collected is going to be passed on to the other good actor homeowners in the association in the form of higher fees and assessments that should not have to be paid by those owners. And that's just one aspect of this bill. And I want to, before I go too much further, I want to commend the chairman and the members of the committee, the bill sponsor with whom I spoke last night, for making some good technical adjustments to the bill that make it a lot more workable. But fundamentally, members, this bill really undermines the very reason these associations exist. This is a contractual obligation that owners, when they move into an association, they sign a contract that says they will pay their assessments. And what this bill does is indirectly enable them to just simply stop paying. And then that will be passed on to the rest of the good actor homeowners in the association. I'm here today on behalf of more than 6.5 million homeowners living in communities impacted by this bill today. And we have been consistent in our voice of opposition to this in every committee. We'll continue to be. And I just want to be, again, I'm grateful to all of you that I've met with. I hear many of the concerns from some of you. I see the twitching and the trigger warnings I get when I say HOAs to some of you. But the truth of the matter is, these are good places that people do like to live in. And they do so because they can have a high quality of life at a cost of living that they can afford. And unfortunately, this bill does impact that. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Members, we're in debate. We're in debate. Rep. Daniel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We have some awesome HOAs in Florida, but unfortunately, there are some bad actors when it comes to homeowners association. The first thing I want to say is that homeowners associations, they are nonprofit. And a nonprofit should be for the service and the social well-being or other activities provided as a service to the people in that community. Not foreclosing their houses, not locking them outside of their gates, you know, and literally as putting it as light as I can from the experiences that I've had, terrorizing the community. Florida is 1 out of 20 super lien states. And the HOA lien jumps ahead of the mortgage lien and takes first position. And it just has been a win-win game for HOAs. And when I got these statistics, it broke my heart. From January 2018 to February 2022, in 4 years, Homeowners Association filed foreclosures for 2,400 homes in Florida. Okay? During COVID-19, at the most vulnerable time of a homeowner, approximately 450 HOAs filed more than 730 foreclosures in 1 year, despite recommendations to pause such actions. And closing, I want to say, after 45 days, we want to pay our fees, we want to pay our bills, but we cannot strong-arm our community. And I beg to differ that all the people are crying out for more home HOA control. It's the absolute opposite, you know, and I would testify that and swear by it. After 45 days of being late on an assessment, a foreclosure can be filed. 20 to 35 days after the judgment on that house, that judgment is done, then that house can be put on the block. So, in other words, I can get in a car accident, be in the hospital in a coma, 45 days. If I don't have anybody to pay my bills and I got surgery, I can return to a foreclosed home. HOAs are great, but they need to do the job that they should be doing, supporting the community. We're going to pay our fees, but it is like a stronghold, and I'm very passionate about this. Thank you so much, because somebody is finally bringing relief to homeowners, and I ask this to committee to have mercy on the owners of homes in Florida, because they have been oppressed by HOAs for too long. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Benjamin, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I do commend the sponsor of the bill for the work that's been done with regards to this. You know, if you buy a new development in the state of Florida nowadays, it's going to come with an HOA. And the reason why it comes with an HOA that we're told is because it maintains values of the homes and increases the home values because of its uniformity, because of the restrictions that it does provide to ensure that the maintenance of homes stay to market value, right? But we know that this bill is necessary because we have issues with homeowners association boards, and we have an issue with regards to affordability, especially today in this inflationary economy that we see ourselves now, where the cost of everything is rising. So it does feel like counterintuitive that we would allow a homeowners association who fine for assessments or anything else to be able to take away someone's home who's current on their mortgage, who's current on their insurance and taxes, but allow their home to be placed in foreclosure for an assessment by an HOA. But the speaker that came before us was correct. Everybody who buys in an HOA has agreed to abide by the rules and regulations of the HOA. And so you kind of know what you're buying when you buy it. And the horrors of community associations is well known for everyone. So, but my biggest concern in the bill is that we have laws and we have contracts, and the ability to enforce contracts is a big thing in our judicial system. It is paramount to our judicial system, the ability to enforce our contracts. And an HOA is a contract between the property owner and a HOA when they bought the property. And you say in that contract that you will, in fact, pay an assessment, because the assessment that you're paying goes to the maintenance of certain common areas of the community. And when you don't pay it, then yes, it goes up because you still have to provide those services. Otherwise, truly, what is the benefit of the HOA if we're not going to get services from the HOA? I've been a special magistrate for various code enforcement cities in our state. One of the biggest things is when you have to, and this isn't a homeowners association, it's condos, but it's the same concept, right? So an elevator has to be fixed or upgraded. They can't do it because not enough people have paid their assessments, so the HOA or the association doesn't have the money to pay for the services. And if you don't allow them to enforce, or you don't have the threat of enforcement, that becomes an issue for that HOA. And it becomes an issue for everyone who has agreed to be part of that community and to commonly pay for these services. So I am concerned about that. I am concerned about how we are impacting the ability to enforce contracts in this essence. I like the fact that we're putting some restrictions and we're putting some education and everything else that this bill does. But the fact that how it may impact contracts and how the courts may view that is concerning to me. But I'll be up on your bill today. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Chair Maney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to be up on the bill today. I have been down on it in 2 previous committees meetings, but I'm up on it today. I appreciate the sponsor having met with me today and talked with me many times before today. So I'm up on it today. I would ask you to get together with me. I do have some other ideas that I've spoken with some people about that I'd like to pass on my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative LaMarca.
Thank you, Chair. I'm going to follow the Vice Chair's comments and say that there are, some of us here have a lot of gated communities, HOAs, and neighborhoods. I don't have a whole lot of those, but I have a whole lot of large condo associations in my district, and one in particular has 35 buildings in it, and I wouldn't say they never have any discussions where they disagree on anything, but 35 buildings come together and have great representation. So I have some concerns with parts of the bill. I appreciate the amendments and you working with the folks that spoke here today. I'm going to support it today, and I'm hoping between now and when you get it to the floor, or whatever's happened on the other side of the rotunda, that we can resolve a couple of those issues, because they're not all created the same, and I appreciate your hard work on this.
Representative Daley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and not to belabor the point, I share a lot of my colleagues' concerns. I do have a large number of HOAs in my district. I do have some concerns with the language. Much like Representative Benjamin mentioned, when you move into an HOA, you're buying into the concept of following the rules. You're buying into the uniformity. You're buying into, and if you don't like that, don't buy there, right? But if you do, you should be following the rules. That being said, I think there are some instances where things aren't disclosed, maybe not fully understood. I don't love some of the lien provisions, but I'd love to talk to you about it more. So, I will be up on it today, which means it's a new world. I'm voting up on a Representative Esposito bill. This is very exciting.
Don't worry, I have another one coming.
Additional debate. Well, Rep. Esposito, I wish you would take more complex bills. You take all these easy bills that never have any opposition. But this is complex because I live in an HOA, and 90% of the time I love it. But unlike a mortgage, your mortgage contract doesn't change. But once you move into an HOA, different board members come in and have different ideas sometimes, and sometimes they just become like little local governments that get rogue and make changes that impact lives. And I think this will stop the bad actors from doing things like that. But for the 95% of the people that enjoy them, they're going to still enjoy them. But it does give us some guardrails, a little pushback on some of the people that get a little overzealous with their power of their elected duties on these HOA boards. So thanks for bringing it, and thank you for working with all the stakeholders, and I know you'll continue to work with them before it gets to the floor. So with that, you recognize the close.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just echo some of the comments from Chair Rommel and from Representative Daniels. Everybody's had an experience or heard of an experience, a terrible experience with an HOA, and I live in an HOA, and I think that this bill is intended to rein in the bad actors and to rein in this idea that, yes, Representative Daley, I agreed to a contract when I moved in, but then they moved the goalposts, they moved the guidelines, and all of a sudden what I agreed to when I moved in is not what I'm now being asked to live by. So this just puts some guidelines in place, and then also put some guidelines in place to make sure that we are protecting the assessments and the investments of the homeowners. So with that, I close. Thank you.
Thank you. Kimberly, call the roll, please.
Chair Rommel.
Yes.
Vice Chair Maney.
Yes, ma'am.
Republican Committee Whip Esposito. Ranking Democratic Member Tant. Representatives Antone.
Yes.
Arrington.
Yes.
Barnaby.
Yes.
Benjamin.
Yes.
Daley.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes.
Duggan.
Yes.
Chair Lombardo. Joseph. Lamarca.
Yes.
Mello. Overdorf. Rudman.
Yes.
Soroy.
Yes.
Steele.
Yes.
Tremont.
Yes.
Yeager.
Yes.
The bill passes, sir.
Congratulations. We'll send that bill report in favor.